News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Thursday on Wall Street, where strong evidence of a cooling labor market created some volatility. And we bring you those closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 lost 75 points. NASDAQ lost 446 points. The Dow is down 397 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.08% and the 2-year yield at 3.56%. Shares of Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk saw modest gains during this trading day, around 1% and 2%, after those companies secured deals with the Trump administration to slash prices for their weight loss drugs in exchange for tariff relief. President Trump.
But this is a great day for American health and health care and for all of American patients. These are things that are miracles to have this happen.
The company's products will receive a 3-year grace period from Trump's tariffs on pharmaceutical imports and will be available to certain people on Medicare at a lower cost with a copay of $50 per month. This is the 37th day of the government shutdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson was asked if he would promise a vote on health care subsidies.
No, because we did our job, and I'm not part of the negotiation. The House did its job on September 19th. I'm not promising anybody anything. I'm going to let this process play out.
He says he is less optimistic now about the shutdown ending. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Democrats are ready to talk as long as health care is on the agenda.
We're ready, we're willing, we're able to sit down with our Republican colleagues anytime, any place in order to reopen the government, to find a bipartisan path forward.
The Transportation Department and the FAA plan to order airlines to cut 10% of flight capacity across 40 major airports to relieve pressure on the aviation system. House Transportation Committee Chair Sam Graves tells Balance of Power they are also training new air traffic controllers.
We've seen for the first time in a very long time all the seats filled at the Academy, 2,000 openings. Controllers in the pipeline. It's just going to take some time to train them up because we don't want to shortchange or sacrifice any safety whatsoever when it comes to training. We've got a lot of good ones coming.
Officials say nothing is final until an official order is released. Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee says a lack of inflation data during the shutdown makes him more uneasy about continuing interest rate cuts. Cleveland Fed President Beth Hammack tells the Economic Club of New York monetary policy should continue putting downward pressure on inflation, which she says is too high and is even a bigger risk than labor market weakness.
After last week's meeting, I see monetary policy as barely restrictive, if at all, and it's not obvious to me that monetary policy should do more at this time.
And Fed Governor Michael Barr says policymakers still have work to do to get inflation down to the central bank's 2% target, but they still have to be attentive to ensuring the labor market is solid. And the outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas says companies announced 150,000 job cuts last month, the most for any October since 2003. More on this with Bloomberg's Michael McKee.
Normally, when you have a new technology, you see a lot of jobs destroyed, old jobs destroyed, and new jobs created. We got the automobile and lost the buggy whip makers, but we ended up with muffler shops. So does this mean we're going to see a whole new kind of employment out there? Nobody really knows.
Bloomberg's Michael McKee. The investigation continues into that UPS cargo plane crash in Kentucky, where at least 12 people have died. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg.
Our hope is that we have located all of the victims at this point, but again, we do not know. The search will continue.
NTSB is heading up that investigation. Nancy Pelosi, the first and so far only woman to serve as Speaker of the House, is retiring. The California Democrat made the announcement on social media. She says she'll retire at the end of her term in 2027. Megan Scully covers Congress for Bloomberg News.
This is the beginning of the end of a truly remarkable career. The first woman Speaker of the House. I remember being actually in the House chamber the day that she was sworn in as Speaker. And she brought children up to the lectern to really mark the occasion.
Pelosi led House Democrats for almost 2 decades, encompassing 2 stretches as Speaker under 4 presidents. Nancy Pelosi is 85 years old. Tesla shareholders cast their votes today on a pay package for CEO Elon Musk that could be worth up to $1 trillion if he meets certain benchmarks. ARK Invest CEO Kathy Wood is a Tesla investor, and she says Musk is worth it.
I do not not believe any company anywhere near this size has ever delivered a compound annual rate of growth for EBITDA, which is a bottom line number, of 41% over 10 years. So, yes, indeed, the incentives are aligned.
ARK Invest CEO Kathy Wood was a guest on Bloomberg Surveillance. That whole conversation you'll find on the Bloomberg Talks podcast. A former Justice Department employee, Sean Dunn, was found not guilty of assault for throwing a sandwich at a federal agent in Washington. His lawyers argued it was a harmless gesture during an act of protest protected by the First Amendment. The acquittal is another setback for prosecutors who face backlash for how they handled criminal cases resulting from that law enforcement surge in Washington. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg.